Hey Cosmic community, welcome back to We Are Cosmic, the channel where we break down the complicated world of finance and cryptocurrency into simple, actionable insights. If you're serious about your financial future, today's video is one you cannot afford to skip. We're going to talk about something that has been quietly shaping the global financial system behind the scenes and why holding 1,000 XRP could be more important than you think. Let me stop you right there. This isn't a random number pulled out of thin air. This is a direct insight from the founders and front lines of the crypto world. But here's the catch most people completely miss. If you don't understand the why behind this specific number, your position could evaporate before the real market move even begins. Why exactly 1,000 XRP? Why not 500? Why not 10,000? For years, people have thrown around these numbers promising generational wealth or calling it the next global reserve. But the conversation has shifted. It's no longer about what might happen. It's about the baseline requirement to have a meaningful seat at the table in the future of money. You see, the financial world as we know it is being rebuilt. And this isn't something flashy or noisy like meme coins or sudden price pumps. This is the plumbing of global finance, the system that moves trillions of dollars across borders every single day. Right now, if you want to send $1 million from New York to Singapore, it doesn't happen instantly. Your money passes through multiple correspondent banks, each taking a fee and causing delays. Even in a world where we can stream 4K video anywhere on the planet, our money still moves at the speed of a horse-drawn carriage. Ripple and the XRP ledger were built to fix that. And if you hold 1,000 XRP, you're essentially betting on the fact that this slow, expensive system is broken and that a faster, more efficient solution will replace it. But here's the warning. This transition won't be smooth. Expect volatility, expect chaos. The path to this new financial reality is designed to shake out weak hands. Many people who buy 1,000 XRP today will not have it in 2 years. They will sell at the first sign of trouble or even at a small profit because they don't understand the bigger picture. This number, 1,000, is more than just an investment threshold. It's a filter. It separates those willing to commit to the long-term vision from those chasing short-term gains. When key figures like Zach Rector or other prominent voices in crypto talk about 1,000 tokens, they aren't thinking about price targets. They're talking about ownership in a new financial framework, a system that could eventually become the bridge for central bank digital currencies worldwide. We're not just talking speculation here. We're talking about understanding how money flows, where the system is broken, and positioning yourself to benefit when the world finally catches up. Holding 1,000 XRP today isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about securing a seat at the table in the future of global finance. In 2012, 3 visionaries, Arthur Brito, Jed McCaleb, and David Schwartz, decided to tackle a huge problem. They noticed a major flaw in Bitcoin. While Bitcoin was revolutionary, it was too slow and heavy for global trade settlements. Transactions could take minutes, sometimes even hours, and Bitcoin simply couldn't handle the volume of high-speed money movement that banks need for international commerce. These 3 founders didn't want to create a get-rich-quick scheme for retail investors. No, they had a bigger vision. They wanted a ledger that could settle transactions in 3 to 5 seconds and handle thousands of transactions per second without slowing down. Think about that for a moment. In 2012, most people hadn't even heard the word blockchain, and these guys were already building the rails for a new financial system. Here's the critical part. XRP was designed to be the fuel of a global payment network, not a speculative asset. The founders understood something most people miss. They needed a token with real functional scarcity and high liquidity. If the price of XRP was too low, moving large sums of money would be nearly impossible without creating huge market swings. Imagine a bank trying to transfer $1 billion using a token priced at just $1. They would need to buy an enormous number of tokens just to complete the transfer, causing chaos in the market. But if the price is higher, say $100 or more, moving billions becomes stable and efficient. This is the hidden logic behind the 1,000 XRP threshold. It's not arbitrary. The founders were thinking about the practical mechanics of a global financial engine. Every token you hold is part of the fuel that powers this engine. And the more tokens you hold, the more bandwidth you have in this system. Another key insight is how XRP interacts with banks. Today, banks still rely on the outdated Nostro Vostro system. They keep trillions of dollars locked up in accounts all over the world just to settle international payments. This is dead capital, money that could be working elsewhere. XRP and the Ripple network are designed to replace this inefficiency with a fast, low-friction, and liquid bridge. Now let's talk about the legal and regulatory challenges. For years, XRP was considered the black sheep of crypto. Headlines screamed lawsuits and SEC battles. Many retail investors panicked, selling their tokens at low prices. Meanwhile, Ripple quietly negotiated with global financial institutions, the IMF, and the World Economic Forum, building a framework that fits within the regulatory system, not outside it. This is why XRP is so different from other cryptocurrencies. It wasn't built for hype or short-term gains. It's built for utility and long-term adoption. And here's the kicker. If XRP becomes the bridge for central bank digital currencies, holding 1,000 tokens isn't just speculation. It's owning a piece of the infrastructure that could move trillions of dollars every single day. Let's start with escrow. This word gets thrown around a lot, but not everyone truly understands it. Ripple, the company, holds tens of billions of XRP in smart contracts called escrows. Every month, a fixed number of tokens are released, some for institutional use, and the rest go back into escrow for future use. Critics often claim this suppresses the price, suggesting Ripple is dumping tokens on retail investors. But here's the perspective that most people miss. Escrow provides stability. Think about it from a bank's perspective. If a central bank or major institution wants to use XRP to move billions, do they want to buy it from random retail traders on an exchange? Absolutely not. They need reliable, predictable supply, and escrow guarantees that the network will always have enough tokens available when adoption ramps up. It's the backbone of XRP's liquidity system, and it's crucial for global financial integration. Now, let's talk about scarcity. Most people are familiar with Bitcoin's 21 million supply rule. XRP's scarcity works differently. It's functional scarcity, not just numerical. Every time a transaction happens on the XRP ledger, a tiny portion of XRP is burned. That means it's gone forever. At current transaction volumes, the effect is small. But imagine a future with millions of transactions every second. High-frequency trading, micropayments, automated global logistics, all running on XRP. That functional scarcity makes each token more valuable because there will be less supply available over time, especially when demand spikes. This brings us to liquidity, a concept that often sounds boring, but is the most important factor in finance. Liquidity is the ability to turn an asset into cash or use it for transactions without dramatically affecting its price. Right now, the global financial system is facing a liquidity crisis. There isn't enough high-quality collateral to move trillions of dollars efficiently. That's why central banks keep printing more money, to grease the wheels of a system that's seizing up. XRP was designed to solve this problem. It's a neutral, highly liquid asset that banks can hold without worrying about counterparty risk. Unlike fiat, XRP isn't tied to a single government or central bank policy. The math behind it is neutral and predictable. When the founders say you need 1,000 XRP, they're looking at the liquidity needs of a global system, not just a speculative number. Those 1,000 tokens could be part of the fuel that moves millions, even billions of dollars without causing price swings. But here's the real warning. This path is not smooth. Expect volatility, flash crashes, and sudden price swings. Weak hands, people who buy without understanding the utility, will panic and sell. Strong hands, investors who understand functional scarcity and liquidity, will hold, knowing that the value of XRP isn't measured by short-term price movements, but by its role as the backbone of a global payment system. Holding 1,000 XRP isn't just a personal investment. It's about positioning yourself ahead of a major structural shift in finance. The escrows, functional scarcity, and liquidity mechanisms all work together to filter out casual traders and keep the system robust for the people who understand the long-term vision. So far, we've covered the origins of XRP, its founders, and the technical mechanics like escrow, scarcity, and liquidity. Now it's time to tackle something just as important: the psychological game of holding XRP and understanding how markets manipulate retail investors. This is where most people fail, even if they hold 1,000 XRP. Let's start with the basics. Holding a high-value asset like XRP isn't just about numbers on a screen, it's about discipline, patience, and mental strength. The truth is, the market doesn't move in a straight line. Prices will go up, prices will go down, and sometimes the asset you believe in will look like it's doing nothing for months or even years. This is what I call the deep, dark hole of finance. Most retail investors have the attention span of a goldfish. They see sideways price action and feel frustrated. They watch other coins soar and think they've made a mistake. This is psychological warfare built into the market itself. Market makers and institutions know that weak hands will panic and sell, leaving the stronger hands in control. XRP is no exception. Here's the key insight. If you want to hold 1,000 XRP successfully, you need to understand why the price is staying flat or dropping. It's not because the project is failing. It's because the market is deliberately filtering out impatient investors. This isn't manipulation in the shady sense. It's the natural result of high-stakes financial systems testing who is serious and who is not. Next, let's talk about liquidity and volatility. We mentioned earlier that liquidity is the ability to move large amounts of money without disrupting the market. But when you combine liquidity with speculation, you get volatility. You will see flash crashes, sudden pumps, and price swings of 20-50% in hours. Most people react emotionally. They panic sell or buy impulsively. Strong holders, however, understand that these fluctuations are the system finding its true price, and they stay grounded in the long-term utility of XRP. Another psychological factor is the fear of missing out, or FOMO. You'll see coins with flashy marketing or viral trends go to the moon, and it's easy to feel left out. But the truth is, holding XRP isn't about chasing hype. It's about strategic positioning in a financial system that is being rebuilt. Remember, XRP was designed as a tool for moving value globally, not a short-term trading asset. Let's also address external narratives. Celebrities, influencers, and even mainstream media will often portray XRP as dead, risky, or a banker's coin. This is intentional noise. Institutions want retail investors to doubt their holdings, to panic, and to sell. When the price dips, you'll see comment sections flooded with XRP as dead posts. This is your test. Holding through this noise is what separates weak hands from strong hands. Finally, consider the Great Reset theory, a polarizing but significant concept in crypto. The idea is that the current debt-based monetary system is unsustainable and will eventually be replaced by a digital, decentralized financial system. If this reset occurs, XRP is positioned to be a primary bridge asset, connecting global currencies efficiently. This is why holding 1,000 XRP is not just about short-term gains, but about owning a piece of the future infrastructure. The first thing to understand is that the world is changing. For decades, the US dollar dominated global trade. Want to buy oil? You needed dollars. Want to trade internationally? Dollars again. But that dominance is shifting. Countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the BRICS nations, are exploring alternatives. They want a neutral, fast, and reliable bridge for cross-border transactions, something no single government can control. This is where XRP comes in. XRP isn't just a cryptocurrency, it's a digital bridge asset. It's designed to move value instantly across borders with low fees, high speed, and global scalability. Institutions are starting to notice. Ripple has been working quietly with central banks and financial hubs like Japan, the UK, and the UAE, testing XRP for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. These aren't small pilots. These are strategic moves that could redefine how money flows internationally. Now let's talk about institutions and adoption. Unlike many coins chasing hype, XRP is being integrated at a structural level. Banks, clearinghouses, and fintech companies are exploring ways to use XRP for settlements, liquidity, and cross-border transfers. Imagine a world where every time a company pays a supplier overseas, XRP moves in the background, ensuring the transaction happens instantly and reliably. That's not theory. It's the vision being built today. Here's why 1,000 XRP becomes critical in this scenario. Every token represents a share of the network's liquidity. As more institutions adopt XRP, the demand for usable tokens will increase dramatically. And since a large portion of XRP is locked in escrow or burned through transactions, the available supply for retail investors is limited. Holding 1,000 tokens today is like reserving your seat at the table before the institutional floodgates open. But let's not ignore the challenges. The road to global adoption won't be smooth. You'll see price dips, regulatory headlines, and skepticism from the public. Governments and traditional banks may resist at first, trying to protect their fees and control, but the math is clear. The old systems are inefficient, slow, and costly. XRP provides a neutral, efficient solution. Those who understand this will see their patience rewarded. Another key point is timing. The market often behaves irrationally. Price movements can be delayed relative to the real adoption happening behind the scenes. This is why understanding the macro picture is essential. Holding 1,000 XRP isn't about guessing the next price spike. It's about positioning yourself for the structural shift in global finance. Now it's time for the most crucial part: how to think, plan, and act if you hold 1,000 XRP, so that your position doesn't get shaken out by volatility, fear, or impatience. First, let's talk about strategy. Holding XRP isn't about guessing short-term price movements. It's about positioning yourself for a financial revolution. That means you need a clear plan. Decide in advance what your goals are. Are you looking for security, long-term growth, or strategic participation in global finance? Set thresholds for action, but stick to them. Panic selling during dips or buying impulsively during hype will destroy value. Secure your tokens safely. Use hardware wallets, reputable exchanges, and proper backup systems. Losing access to your XRP is worse than a temporary price drop. XRP's journey to becoming a global bridge currency will not be smooth. You'll face regulatory uncertainty. Laws and guidelines may change, creating short-term fear and price drops. Market manipulation, weak hands will be shaken out, and news headlines often exaggerate risks. Volatility, expect 20 to 50% swings in hours or days. This is part of the system finding its equilibrium. Understanding these warnings is essential because your mindset determines your success. The people who thrive are those who can hold through a dip, ignore the noise, and stay focused on the long-term utility of XRP. This is what separates strong hands from weak hands. Another critical element is mental preparation. Holding 1,000 XRP requires discipline. The market will tempt you with meme coins, instant gains, or fear-driven headlines. The challenge is not to react emotionally, but to make decisions based on knowledge and conviction. Ask yourself, am I selling because the project is failing or because I'm scared? This distinction is crucial. Let's also discuss opportunity cost. You might feel like holding XRP means missing out on short-term gains elsewhere. This is normal, but remember, XRP is not a short-term trade. It's infrastructure for the global financial system. Your opportunity is in long-term positioning, not daily price movements. Now, consider the bigger picture. The world is moving toward digital, high-speed finance. Central banks, institutions, and global trade need a neutral bridge currency. XRP has the technology, adoption, and liquidity to fill this role. Holding 1,000 tokens today is like reserving your seat on the train before it leaves the station. Once adoption accelerates, latecomers will struggle to get in. If you follow these principles, your 1,000 XRP isn't just a collection of tokens. It becomes a tool for financial empowerment. You are no longer a passive observer. You are participating in the future of money. So, Cosmic Family, the choice is clear. Prepare, hold, and understand. Let the noise fade. Focus on the math, utility, and global adoption. The next few years could be the most important in your financial life. And remember, knowledge, patience, and conviction are your greatest assets. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If you found value in this series, hit like, subscribe, and check out our Discord and Cheeky School for more education and strategies on crypto, XRP, and the future of finance.